Hello and welcome to another Out of Spec Bits video. Today we're looking at the Sexy Dash, which is the newest product from Enhance Auto. You guys may know them as the maker of the Sexy Buttons and then also the Sexy Knob, which Jordan did a review of a few months ago. We're big fans of their products at Out of Spec, and today we're going to see what their newest product can do in terms of functionality for the Model 3 and the Model Y. So as you guys probably know, the Model 3 and the Model Y do not come with a gauge cluster. And as much as I love my car and love the Tesla software experience and have honestly gotten used to just looking over to my right to see my speedometer info and nav and other things like that, I do think it's crazy to make excuses for what is a shortcoming in the 3 and Y. And the Sexy Dash looks to solve that while also adding more functionality like CarPlay, Android Auto, and more customization than a factory gauge cluster would allow you to have. If you guys don't know me, my name is Logan, and today we're using my 24 Model 3 Performance to show off the Sexy Dash. This is not a tutorial video. Enhance Auto has some great content on how to do the install, but just to give you a quick idea, it's a two-part install, one being the commander and one being the screen itself. So this is the commander, that green blinking light right there, and it's not a hard install at all. It probably took me 25 minutes last night. The only tool required is a pry tool that they include, and you just remove a couple panels and then plug the commander in with their included cable. The commander is the piece that connects to the car to pull data and send commands. This has to be installed before you use any of their products, and it connects wirelessly to the Sexy Dash in this case. The commander can actually be used by itself with the phone app to send commands and view extra data. And this is really the standout foundation for all of Enhance Auto's products, I feel like, is the commander can pull data that Tesla usually doesn't user display, and it can also send commands that aren't always user accessible. So the included mount with the screen in the box is actually MagSafe, and the screen has a MagSafe receiver on it. So if you wanted to, you actually could use a different mount if you already have one that you like better in a different position. And then on the flip side, technically you could use the included mount with a MagSafe phone if for some reason you wanted to take the dash down for a second. So as far as the screen install, it's an adhesive mount with the MagSafe, and then there is a super long, high quality USB-C to USB-C cable for power. For you guys at home, I would plug the USB-C cable into the port in the console under the armrest, but my radar detector is already plugged into the center console USB-C port, so I have mine plugged into one of the rear USB-C ports right now. The cable is long to stretch if you need to do that, if you have a radar detector or another accessory that is already in the center console port. The back of the display has the USB-C port, a micro SD card slot for storage expansion, and then speakers and a mic. All right, so it is all installed, and as you can see right now, it is showing data, but this data is not active from my car. This is a pre-release product, so it is not able to be connected to the commander right now as of the time of this recording. But obviously, by the time you guys are taking delivery of this product, it'll be connected to the commander and you guys can see live data from your car. So starting to go over some of the menus here, it's fully customizable and it's similar to the iOS widgets in the sense that you can add and remove tiles and resize them. So you can see some of these screens as examples. You can get some great data like battery temp here or a hotkey to preheat your battery without having to navigate to a supercharger, which I think is really nice. And then I'm a super similar enthusiast to Kyle, and so things like battery temp and motor temp being able to be accessible without having to be in track mode and being able to warm the pack ahead of performance driving or see that the pack is overheating is a really nice feature. So similar to iOS widgets, you can hold this down and you can resize the menus. And so just as an example here, I can toggle through and add a different widget to this exact same spot, resize it, or add a hotkey action to actually do something when I touch it, because this is a touchscreen, which is unconventional of a traditional gauge cluster. And one of the coolest features is to be able to have CarPlay, which I'm sure a lot of you guys miss from your older cars. And what's really cool about the software here is you can change the size of any of these little tiles. So if I go to CarPlay and I click on that, I can actually increase this size to fit almost the entire display at the 6x2 right there. And so if I click OK, we now have full screen CarPlay. And it's kind of cool to have CarPlay right in front of you. Most manufacturers don't put the CarPlay in the gauge cluster, except for like the TT or the R8, which is really cool for apps that aren't supported in the Tesla infotainment, like Waze, which is one that I use often. And so if I click on Waze right here, I now have a full screen view right in front of my eyes, which is really cool because as somebody who uses Waze all the time, for police reports ahead, it's super nice to have this now in front of me instead of having to look down at my phone. And so obviously this is infinitely customizable. I could go through this for hours, but I think the most important thing is that you get data that you don't usually have access to. It's right in front of your eyes, and because it's a touchscreen, you have those hotkeys to be able to perform actions that you may not be able to usually do in the Tesla infotainment. This UI is really close to the factory Tesla infotainment look, which I really love. And the speed is really impressive for an aftermarket product. It works almost as quickly as the Tesla display. I love that this maintains the feel of being 10 times faster than any legacy automotive screen. And they also did a great job with the glass quality and the coating on the screen. It honestly feels similar to the Tesla screen. Overall, I love this thing. It gives you a lot more data than you usually have. It puts it right in front of your face. And it gives you the option to just load up hotkeys and have all of your quick actions ready to go, almost similar to the sexy buttons, but just touchscreen style right in front of you. Other gauge clusters have been on the aftermarket for a while now, but I think Enhance Auto did it right, waiting and making sure it was a great product. I think cosmetically it fits well into the Tesla interior. The UI is nice and it feels snappy, and I really appreciate products like this where they make an effort to make sure that it fits into the interior nicely. It looks clean, kind of that OEM Plus look. I'm someone who hates interiors where it looks like somebody just went on Amazon and added 20 things to the cart, threw them all in, and called it a day. And so I love the amount of data this provides while also feeling OEM Plus. This will ship in February for orders placed before December, and if you have a Commander already, you can just order the dash, but if you need both, you can get a bundle with them both together. They're asking $525 for the dash and the Commander together in a bundle, or $394 for just the dash if you already have the Commander. At the time of this recording, they are running a sale on the website, so those are the prices without the sale, but we'll leave a link in the description for you to check it out and see for yourself. Thank you so much to Enhance Auto for sending out this product for us to test, and thank you for watching another Out of Spec Bits video. We'll see you in the next one.